Hey guys, welcome back. And in today's video, we will learn about pseudo classes in CSS. So what are pseudo classes in CSS? Have you ever wanted to make your HTML element look a certain way only when it is in a specific state, like when it is activated? You can with pseudo classes. Pseudo classes in CSS let you change how things look when they are in a special state. For example, if a button is clicked, it is in the active state. With pseudo classes, we can configure how something looks when it is in a different state. One pseudo class we have is the active pseudo class. It is the state an element is when it is activated by the user on the website. To write a pseudo class, first select the element you want to work with. Then write a colon. The colon tells the computer that we are dealing with a pseudo class or a different state of the element. And finally, you write a pseudo class name. There are many pseudo classes in CSS. Different pseudo classes deal with different states of an HTML element. For example, active pseudo class sets the style for it when an element is activated by the user on the website. Here, I have a button element, and for its active pseudo class, I have styled its background to be red. So if we run this, we can see that our button element turns red whenever we click and activate it. Another pseudo class we can use is the hover pseudo class. This pseudo class styles the element when the user is hovering over the element with a mouse. If we run this, we can see that our button turns red whenever we hover over it with our mouse. Buttons are not the only element that can use pseudo classes. We can also do the same thing with other elements, like an anchor element. One special pseudo class element we can use for the anchor element is the visited pseudo class. Here, the visited pseudo class will only style our link if we have visited it. If we run this, we can see exactly that. The last pseudo class we will talk about in this video is the nth-child pseudo class. This pseudo class styles specific child elements within a parent element. It can be extremely useful for list elements. Before we learn about this pseudo class, we must first learn something about elements in HTML. In HTML, there is a parent element and a child element. To put simply, the parent element is the outer element, and the child element is the element inside and being carried by the parent element. With the nth-child pseudo class, we can choose which specific child element to style. To write this pseudo class, first write the child element you want to style. Then write colon and the nth-child pseudo class. Make sure to end with a set of parentheses. Inside the parentheses, write the number of the list element you want to style. Since I will be styling the first list element, the number would be 1. If we run this, we can see that the first list element from our list is colored. One mistake beginners might make is to use the parent element for this pseudo class. When writing the nth-child pseudo class, notice how we write the name of the child element instead. But if we were to write the name of the parent element, we will see that the entire list is colored red. It is because the UL element is the first child element of the body element in HTML. So, we must make sure to write the name of the child element instead. We are not just limited to numbers for the nth-child pseudo element. We can even write things like odd and even inside the parentheses. If we write even, we will see that all the even child elements are colored red. We can also try writing odd. If we try that, we will see that every odd child element is colored red. But that's not it. We can even set expressions like in algebra. Here, I wrote 3n as our expression. If we run this, it will paint every third child element red. The n here is a variable, like x in algebra. To make things easier, think of n as 1. If n is all by itself, all the elements would be colored red, because we are telling the computer to color every element plus 1. But when we write 3n, we are telling the computer to color every third element, or every element plus 3. And if we run this, we can see exactly that. In conclusion, pseudo classes are used to style an element when it is in a specific state. There are many pseudo classes in CSS, even outside the ones we have discussed in this video. That's it for today's video. Like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.